So it is the space in between the notes that's going to define the sound of the notes. Or maybe a better way to think about it is that it is the space in between the notes that is going to define the way that this chord or scale actually sounds. So again, you change the length of the space, the length of the distance between notes, you're going to change the sound of the scale or the sound of the chord. In fact, to hammer this home a little bit, let's take a look at two different scales, the C major scale and the C minor scale. All right, so right now I want to just show you guys the difference between the way that a C major scale sounds versus a C minor scale. The only difference between the C major scale and the C minor scale is that 3 notes in the C major scale are flattened 1/2 step to change it to sound like the C minor scale. So let's take a look at the scale. Here's C major. Okay, here, let's hear that again. So there are 7 notes in this scale. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this repeats again. This is the first note. Hear how that sounds the same? So what we're doing is we're taking the 3rd note, lowering that 1/2 step. So it goes. Then we take the 6th note, lowering that 1/2 step, so it sounds like this. And then finally, we're doing the same thing with the 7th note here. 7th note goes back 1/2 step to give us what we know as the C minor scale. While we're at it, let's look at the scales across one string so you can see it in a more linear fashion. So starting with C major, we have a root note. And we're going to get way more in depth with this in another lesson, but just for right now, memorize this. So we have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay? So we start on our root note, we go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and finally half step. And that completes the scale. So that's our C major scale. Now without talking. And by the way, for all you guys out there that had traditional music lessons as a kid but didn't really follow up with it later on, and you are familiar with the phrase do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that's exactly what this is right now. This is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is solfege. So in other words, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is a major scale. In this case, it's in C. So we have do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, and do. So let's change this to a minor scale now. So in doing so, we change the pattern of whole steps and half steps because the 3rd note, the 6th note, and the 7th note are all shrunken down by a half step. So it's going to be root note here. Then we have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So it's whole, half, whole, half, whole. So there it is. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, just let me know in the comments. And for anybody out there who wants detailed notes and slides of everything that I'm talking about right now, click the link in the description and I'll see you in another video.